Alrighty, the matchup that started the whole NBA playoffs of 2026. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Toronto Raptors. The Cleveland Cavaliers, as we could see, took the dub at home, did what they had to do by beating and defeating the Toronto Raptors 126 to 113. Pretty much took advantage throughout the first three quarters, and the Toronto Raptors trying to bounce back and come back into the game. But that third quarter was pretty brutal. If you guys watched the game, the Cleveland Cavaliers went on multiple different runs, gapping that lead to 14 in the third quarter alone. Toronto Raptors tried to bounce back in the fourth, but it clearly wasn't enough. As we could see here, the man of the hour, Donovan Mitchell, man, 11 for 20 shooting for 6 for 7 from the free throw line. 32 points he finished with. Evan Mobley corralling the rebounds as he finished with 7. And James Harden with 10 assists. On the opposite side, we got RJ Barrett, who's been making a name for himself, by putting on his Canadian native side, as he finished with 24 points. This guy, I can't even pronounce his name. My boy Mahmoud Kalish, whatever his name is. My son over here, finished with 8 rebounds. He's been making a name for himself. I don't know if he's starting because I haven't really watched Toronto Raptors basketball in a very long time, if I'm being honest with you. But, this series I watched, and this is going to be a very good series. I'll give my little predict since I haven't, done that yet for you guys. My predictions for the rest of this series. But come on, we already know what that is already. And, my boy Scotty Barnes, my boy 2020 Mount Vert, Scotty Barnes right here, finished with 7 assists. He's been facilitating for this team due to not having a point guard. They have Emmanuel Quickly, who did not play in this game. Hopefully he bounces back from his injuries. But yeah, both of these teams, been very injury prone throughout the regular season. Heading into the playoffs, we shall see who will capitalize in this series, because this is a great matchup between the 4th and 5th seed. I believe this is the 4th and 5th seed. Yeah, I'm almost sure that it is. Yeah, it is the 4th and the 5th. But let's head to the box score. This is really where we break things down, of course. Just like old times. If you know, you know. If you was here last season, this is where we really break it down. So yeah, starting with the Toronto Raptors, we got Brandon Ingram, who is deemed to be, the leading scorer on this team, the go-to guy to score the basketball, because he could just put the ball in the hoop at any given moment. He played the most minutes. He had 17 points on 5 for 9 shooting. That's not enough, Brandon Ingram. He needs to take some more shots. That coach needs to give him some more touches. But then again, I can imagine Cleveland had him in the box. Cleveland, was pretty much had him on the top of that scouting report. I can almost imagine. So this is probably the reason why he didn't get a lot of shots up, because 9 shots is very minimal for a star scorer on this team, but pretty efficient. Just nearly under 50%. I believe this is like 44%, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, 0 for 1 from 3, 7 for 10 from the free throw line. So because he couldn't get his shot, he was trying to be aggressive, and he got to the free throw line a lot, shooting 70% from the free throw line. He took in 2 rebounds. He facilitated 4 assists with 1 turnover and a block. Not too bad. Plus minus 19. RJ Barrett, the leading scorer, like I said before, he had 31 minutes. My boy finished with 24 points, 7 for 13 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and 7 for 9 from the free throw line. Yeah, these brothers getting to the free throw line because, this is game 1. getting all the nerves and the jitters out, and trying to be and remain aggressive. This is the reason why I can imagine that he turned over the ball 4 times, because he was trying to be overly aggressive, and especially when the star scorer Brandon Ingram is not getting his touches, he has to be a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, he had 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Scotty Barnes, the man who has been here, the man who was drafted here. This guy, I love Scotty Barnes. What he's doing, he's gone into a more facilitating role. We know Scotty Barnes can rebound the ball. We know him; he can pass the ball. He can score the ball. He's like a trailblazer. He's run and gun, like he's going straight to the hoop. Like he's using his muscle, his size to get to the rack. He could also shoot the ball pretty well. He played 32 minutes. He finished with 21 points on 6 for 14 shooting, 3 for 4 from three, 6 for 9 from the free throw line. So yeah, like all three of these brothers, man, like when they can't get their touches, they got to the free throw line, but clearly it just wasn't enough for this Cleveland Cavaliers system, led by Kenny Atkinson. I'm so surprised that Scotty finished with 1 rebound. That's like blasphemous. Like really, like I could just show you guys like his past statistics probably, and like come on, like this guy rebounds the ball like so much better. Like what's going on? 12 rebounds the game before, 4 rebounds, 8 rebounds, 1 rebound in a playoff game. I don't know what he was doing if he wasn't even near the rim. Like he was probably just disregarding the rebounds, doing what he was told to do, I guess. But kind of made it up on the facilitation end with 7 assists, 5 turnovers. Yeah, this Cleveland defense was not playing this game, as we could see. Like the whole starting lineup turned over the ball. Well, let's start with the first 3 players that we just discussed. They started off with 10 turnovers alone in the start, out of the first 3 players, with Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, and Scotty Barnes. All right, let's move on. We got Jacob Patel. I don't even know. Jacob, like, like all these European players, shout out to y'all. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the names. I know it's like Jacob, and I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. But this is the starting center. Pretty good. Just did not do good this game, as we can see. He played 21 minutes. He scored 4 points on 1 for 2 shooting. He didn't take a lot of shots, 50% shooting. He went to the line 1 time, made both of his free throws, with 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, more turnovers, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Not too bad, but, we need some more production out of the starting lineup, especially if he played 21 minutes. Jamal Sheed, he's taking over Emmanuel Quickly's point guard spot. He's a scorer. I do know that from having him on my fantasy team early in the year. But he played 28 minutes. He finished with 17 points, 6 for 11 from the field, 5 for 6 from 3. So this guy is knocking down threes for Toronto. He's 0 for 1 from the free throw line with 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 turnovers. Yeah, so now we can talk about it. Like the turnover is literally crazy. 14 turnovers between the starting lineup in Toronto. They got to fix that up. If we're going to talk about anything in this whole recap of this game, the turnovers is going to be limited in game 2. That's like the main focus that Toronto has to focus on. You got to slow the pace down, and you got to get your shooters, your scorers, Brandon Ingram, the basketball in these tough spots. Like get them to their spots. This is when the coaching staff has to kick in and watch film and see what's going on, because it's not clicking. These 14 turnovers is blasphemous for a starting lineup. All right, let's try to pronounce this guy's name. Sandro Mamukalashvili. Okay. He played 20 minutes. He was a big part of this team because I've been watching him throughout the regular season. And I've been seeing his name pop up on the feed every now and then. This is the reason why he's getting some PT in the first place. This game, he didn't get a lot of touches, but he was out there jogging and he got some rebounds. He finished with 3 points. He only made a 3. He shot 33% from the field, 1 for 3, 1 for 2 from 3, 50%. 8 rebounds, pretty good. 2 assists and 1 steal. 3 offensive rebounds, and he had 5 fouls. So this guy was out just trying to be aggressive as possible, I guess. All right, let's move on. My boy Trace Jackson Davis coming from Golden State. I forgot they traded him. That was a good addition in Golden State. Lob City all day. But he only played 2 minutes, 2 points. He made a pair of free throws with a turnover. Jamison Battle, 3 minutes. He probably came out the end of the game, just like Trace came out the end of the game when they were getting blown out. Play a few minutes, it was only right. He didn't finish with anything across the board, which is okay. Can't blame him. He only played 3 minutes. He went out there just to get a little jogging. Colin Murray Boyles. I like this kid right here, man. 20 minutes. He's facilitating off the bench. He's doing what he's supposed to do off the bench in all categories. He finished with 14 points on 7 for 8 shooting. That's marvelous. That's like 87% from the field. 89? Is it 89 or 87? Hey, Siri. What percentage is 7 for 8? Come on. ChatGPT got to answer that? That's ridiculous, Siri. Come on. Oh, I asked that pretty wrong. Okay, let's get back to it. Anyways, I think it's like 87%, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, which is really marvelous. 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 turnover. That's a pretty good stat line. Coming off the bench, playing 20 minutes. They got to really integrate him into some more minutes. But let's get down a little bit more and we'll see what's going on. Jonathan Mongbo. Just like I said before, he came into the game late, probably some jogging minutes just to integrate him into the blowout. He had 2 points, only taking 1 shot, in which he made, which is good, playing 2 minutes. AJ Lawson, he played 14 minutes and looked like he was just out there doing intangible things. I haven't watched this kid yet. I got to tap in. He had 2 points on 1 for 4 shooting, 25%, 0 for 2 from 3, 3 assists with 1 turnover and a block. Jacoby Walter, I am familiar with his game. I also had him on my fantasy team this year when injuries came about, stuff like that. He finished with 28. Oh, snap. He finished with 7 points in 28 minutes, 2 for 5 from the field, which is 40%, 1 for 4 from 3, 25% from 3, and making a pair of free throws. 2 rebounds, 2 assists. My man, he's good, truly good. I think this is just a game that, just got under him. He got to continue to shoot the ball because he's good at shooting that ball. And he's good at facilitating as well, too. If I'm not wrong, when he was playing, I think, was it him? Hold on, let me see. In the regular season. No, it was Sheed. It was Sheed. I'm mistaking him for Sheed. This boy right here, he was getting mad assists. He was averaging at the end of the season, my boy was getting a pair double in assists. Look right here, 11 assists, 12 assists, 10 assists, 14 assists. 8 assists, 8 assists. Like he was doing his thing towards the end of the season when Emmanuel quickly went down. Okay. So yeah, we got that. And then the last but not least, Grady Dick, your Kansas boy right here. He bounced out the lineup due to injury. Got drafted by this team. He's still a good player. He just got to get his game right underneath him. He only played 2 minutes though with 1 rebound. It's just some more cardio. He's probably playing through injuries still. So that's the reason why he's like not in this lineup. And when they acquired Brandon Ingram, he kind of was on that down scale anyway. Because yeah, like come on, like we can't be having Grady Dick over Brandon Ingram. And they have a lot of forwards on this team for some odd reason. They needed to go acquire like another big or another guard that's going to facilitate the basketball because it's just not going to work. Shout out to Emmanuel quickly. Hopefully he comes back for game 2 because he makes a difference shooting the perimeter basketball and basketball from the perimeter, I should say. And yeah, it makes this team a lot better and stretches their game out because all 3 of these guys, Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, they like to get to the rim. And the game is kind of obvious when, three of these guys are on the court without shooters. But yeah, like I could see this team going to get like a stretch big instead of Jacob, but we shall see. All right, let's move on to Cleveland Cavaliers because, I'm kind of stretching out this video a little bit. We got Dean Wade, who started. He had 23 minutes, 5 points, 2 for 3 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3 with 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 turnovers. I'm going to say that. When a player has 0 turnovers, that's like an honor. Like the turn over the ball, fast-paced environment, 0 turnovers is incredible. So shout out to you if you have 0 turnovers. And he finished with 2 steals, which is amazing. Great defensive game. Dean Wade, he's a knockdown shooter in the corner. He's going to get you your good defense because he has that good 6'9", 6'10" frame here in Cleveland. Well needed. I thought that they was going to start Max Strus, but that Dean Wade start, this is good against this tall and lengthy Toronto Raptors team. Good job by Kenny Atkinson by starting Dean Wade. I like this. Jaren Allen coming right back from injury with 28 minutes. They rested him like towards the end of the season just for the playoffs, of course. He finished with 10 points on 5 for 7 from the field, 0 for 2 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds and a steal, 0 turnovers. Shout out to Jared Allen holding on to that basketball. Evan Mobley, he had 33 minutes, 17 points on 6 for 9 from the field, 1 for 2 from the 3. He's hitting that deep ball now. 50% from 3, taking 2 of them. Make 1, miss 1, looking good. He's taking it. Evan Mobley, his game has to increase since he was drafted. Like this is what we've been talking about. If this Cleveland Cavaliers wants to approach a Eastern Conference Finals this year or in general, they have to play with Evan Mobley. Like it's just we can't talk about this no more. Evan Mobley, you got to step up, man. You got to be superstar status. You're too good, man. You're a 7-footer who could shoot the ball, put it back to the basket, who could hit that mid-range J. You could block shots, rebound the ball really well. You could facilitate. You got James Harden on your squad now, man. This is light. This is why they bought James Harden here. You gotta do what you gotta do against your matchups. All right. But yeah, shooting 4 for 6 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers. Let's go to James Harden. Boy, James Harden. Man, my boy out there, man, just splashing and dashing, man, facilitating. I'm liking this acquisition by James Harden because Darius Garland was he was just too injured, for me. He he was gonna ruin that team just from his injuries. All right. But anyways, on to James Harden. He played 33 minutes, finishing with 22 points, 8 for 18 from the field, 4 for 7 from three. My boy out there doing his thing. Feel me? I could just see it. 2019 James Harden, 2018 James Harden, Houston Rockets. That's so, step back. Come on. He's still doing it, but, he's slower. He's slower with it, that body, pushing 30, pushing 35, pushing 40 at this point. He got a little slower, but he's still rocking his game, man. He's still according to his fundamentals. He'll still give you that work if he needs to, clearly, as we can see. But anyways, 4 for 7 from three, making a pair of free throws. James Harden needs to if he really wants to punish this Toronto Raptors team, he'll get to the free throw line like he used to. He'll be aggressive by getting to that line, but by time he gets by the free throw line, he has Jared Allen and he has Evan Mobley. So I don't blame him for not having more free throws in this because he has two of the Twin Towers down there. The only thing he got to do is just floater, or he can just alley-oop to Jared Allen or to Evan Mobley in his light. It's easy after that for him. So he doesn't even have to do too much, get injured, roll his ankle like he did in Brooklyn, all that stuff. It's crazy. But I'm really amazed by the 10 assists, James Harden, and the 2 rebounds, 4 turnovers. When you're a facilitator, the 4 turnovers, I'm not going to call it. Playoff basketball, the atmosphere is intense. And the 2 steals is beautiful. Good job, James Harden. Donovan Mitchell, the man of the hour. My guy came 31 minutes, 32 points, leading the game out of all scorers with 32 points, 11 for 20 from the field, missing 9 shots. That's beautiful. That's amazing. 4 for 7 from 3. Another one. My boy out there splashing just like his brother James Harden. 4 for 7 from 3, which is magnificent. 6 for 7 from the free throw line. 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 turnovers. Again, with the turnovers, him and James Harden, 8 turnovers combined. I can't blame him, man. It's a hostile environment, okay? Fast pace, and Cleveland likes to run and gun. 2 steals, okay? All right, let's get off the starter lineup. Let's go to the benches. Let's go to the bench. We got Larry Nance Jr., a part of this blowout. He came in, played the last 2 minutes of the game. He turned over the ball. All right. Naquan Tomlin. I'm loving this brother. When he was playing early in the season and everybody was injured, he was giving us some good minutes. He kind of fell in the rotation because everybody came back. Max Strus came back. Jalen Tyson stepped up his game. Keon Ellis came to the Cleveland Cavaliers from the Sacramento Kings. So Naquan Tomlin, his production fell due to that. Can't blame him. He also came in. He scored 2 points. He got himself a bucket, and he got a turnover, and he left the game. All good, okay? Dennis Schroeder, he played 13 minutes. He had 2 points, 1 for 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, with a rebound, 2 assists, and a turnover. Max Strus, my boy, came off the bench and gave them buckets. 24 points, 8 for 10 from the field, 80% from the field as a shooter. Crazy. 4 for 6 from 3. Come on. I got to give it to him. Between him, Harden, and Donovan Mitchell, they all had 4 threes. 12 threes. Man, this is the reason why that third quarter was brutal if you watch that game. And Max Strus made all his free throws, 4 for 4 from the free throw line with 3 rebounds, 2 turnovers. That's a pretty good game. That's a Max Strus type of game. Just to come off the bench or just come off the curl and just hit his shots efficiently. Like like with Max Strus is either like he's gonna have a good game with 20 plus points on efficient shooting, or he's just gonna shoot like 1 for 30. Like that's just his game. If you know, you know. All right, let's move on. We got Jalen. No, we got Sam Merrill. Also another shooter, usually in the starting lineup, but he's coming off the bench now. He played 21 minutes, 7 points on 1 for 4 from the field, 1 for 3 from the three, and he sank all 4 of his free throws as well too, with 4 rebounds and 2 assists, no turnovers. Jalen Tyson, I'm loving his brother's game because he plays aggressive, he plays with confidence. He finished with 14 minutes, 2 points, 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from three, and making a pair of free throws with 1 assist and 1 steal, 0 turnovers as well. Yeah. Craig Porter Jr. Came at the end of the game. I'm loving this brother's game as well too. Like they have a lot of depth on this team. Like as you can see, Cleveland, they knew like trading and getting the right pieces to fit with this starting lineup was very important to fit on this team because they're tired of not going over that hump. Losing to Indiana last year, as we saw, those boys just got drowned in the water, man. Like like Indiana was just on that just legacy run, like, and beating them off of those buzzer beaters that we seen. It was truly amazing. But it was very important. I say all that just to say it was very important for Cleveland to get the right pieces this year. And they have a lot of pieces. They're really deep with their guards, especially. They're shooting. And they rely on Evan Mobley and Jared Allen to pretty much control the front court. All right. So, Keon Ellis, my man, played 15 minutes with 3 points, 1 for 1 from the field, 1 for 1 from the three. He only took a three. All right. 0 for 1 from the free throw line with 3 rebounds and a steal, 0 turnovers. As we can see, I want to bring this up. This whole starting lineup with Toronto, again, like I said before, had 14 turnovers to the Cleveland Cavaliers' whole team having 15 turnovers. Like, it can happen. And I know that, like, you guys play predominantly your starting lineup, but you got to give the bench and trust in the bench a little bit more, and have better lineups when the game is active. But as this concludes this segment, the Cleveland Cavaliers taking game one, 126-113. We shall see what happens in game two. And as promised, like I said, like I would say, just to give a little breakdown, a little insight on what I think is going to conclude this series. I think Cleveland will probably win this series in 5. I think it'll be 4-1. That defers if Emmanuel quickly comes back. It'll probably go to 2 games. It'll probably go to game 6, 4-2. But right now, with his health in jeopardy, I'll say that the Cleveland Cavaliers win in 5. Okay? Just to give you guys some insight on that. But as I conclude this video, it was a pleasure. I'll see you guys in the next recap because I'm going to react to all of the game ones. It was 8 game ones, so I got 7 to go. I don't know if I'm going to drop separate videos. We shall see. Because this one was so long. We're almost up to 30 minutes on this video. And yeah. All right. So I'll see you guys in the next video.